customers. We always want to know their journeys, you know. How is someone exposed to a product? How are they going to get that product? What steps are involved in order to get that product? Be it an online product or an offline product. How do they use that product? And after using that product, how do they dispose that product? So that's what we would always talk about whenever we're talking about, you know, customer journey. But before we do that, let's just have a recap. Can someone summarize what we did in the previous lesson? So if someone was to ask you right now, what is it that you learned in lesson 9? What would you say? Just as a summary, you don't have to be accurate.
So if I have a try, I would say that we were able to get to learn and understand the different digital marketing environments that are at our disposal, and distinguishing the difference between the micro and the macro. Yeah, basically that's that on lesson 9 alone.
Okay. All right. So yes, just to add on what Nkamo said, you know, we looked at the environment at which the organization has to consider. It doesn't matter whether you're an NPO, a non-governmental organization or non-profit organization. It doesn't matter whether a social institution. It doesn't matter even whether an individual. These affect each and every entity, okay? We all do situation analysis, guys. As long as you have got suppliers, as long as you have got customers, it doesn't matter whether it's B2B, B2C, G2G, you need to do a situation analysis. And at the moment, we are going to start with our customers. So you need to be able to identify the elements of a digital marketing environment, and the focus should be on the customers. That's the lesson outcomes for this lecture. So we continue with the same terminologies that we discussed at in the previous lesson. However, I've got this question for you guys. How do you interact with digital marketing markets? I'm asking you because you are also customers. So I'm asking you as customers, how do you interact with digital markets?
When you say digital market, you mean like e-commerce or digital platforms that we purchase online?
I mean any entity that you want to get a product from.
Digitally, because
that's a market, yes. The same way you would go to a physical market, be it at neighborhoods in Braamfontein, how would you interact when you get there? So here we are looking at the digital marketplace.
By reviewing their products.
Okay, by reviewing their products. That's correct.
And seeing what others have said about the product or the company, its reputation, its product, its existence, durability, all of that stuff.
Yeah, that's true. So whenever right now, when you identify a need or you just realize that you run out of roll-on, you know, or let's think of something bigger. Let's say you're looking for a brush to wash your sneakers. The first thing that we do is to go to Google. So you're entering in the digital marketplace. You search for the information. You know, you compare prices. You look at reviews. You look at shipping duration. Nowadays, that matters a lot. Do you know that, guys? Like, how long is this going to be delivered to me? Because sometimes it can take months or ages. Do you know that? So you can also look at that as well. I know you guys, when you are registering to study this course, duration mattered. You ask yourself, how long am I going to take in order to graduate, right? If it's 7 years, be like, yo, there's no way I can study for 7 years. So duration also matters. Okay, understanding how customers interact with the digital markets. In the physical world, going to the shop is a well-known, understood concept. But less is known about the range of triggers and influences that can shape a shopper's journey and inform their ultimate purchase decision. In the digital world, the same basic principles are true, but the online customers encounter many more touch points, the ones that we can call digital triggers and influences, which influence their decision making, be it a website, social media content, blogs. The main elements of the online marketplace are customer segments, search intermediaries, influencers, and media or publisher sites, destination sites, and platforms. You can see that on page 53 in your textbooks on figure 2.3. So, of course, our journeys are not always the same, and this does not apply to everyone. For example, I am not influenced by a celebrity or an influencer to get something. I've never done that. For example, if Caspar Nyovest is driving a BMW, that won't influence me to drive a BMW, truly speaking. What would influence me is the efficiency of a BMW. So to realize that we are different as customers, and I know that there are people who are easily influenced by influencers, celebrities. That's why we've got a concept of celebrity endorsement. Would you guys be influenced by a celebrity to consume a product?
I would say it
Yes.
depends.
It depends, but sometimes it does. That's how you see most marketing campaigns involve celebrities, one or the other. You've got Nivea for Shoma Josie, you've got Shield for Kamompela. They know that influences do matter. And I've seen, especially with ladies, you hear someone saying that I want to buy that blouse that I saw Bonang Mateba wearing. I want to use that weave that I saw Katleko Danke wearing. Is it something that you can relate with, Primonia?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So customer journey can also be influenced, by public figures, political figures. Yes, it does happen. Customer analysis to understand the digital consumer. We have discussed that situation analysis in the world of digital marketing should focus on the customer by looking at how they engage with digital content and channels, the journeys they take, and the touch points they encounter. From the microenvironment perspective, customers are important players in a brand's immediate trading environment, and analysis of their behavior is central to the understanding of trading situation and ultimately digital planning. So that's why we always say customer is a king. Customers are always right. Because that if customers don't buy, or if customers don't join membership, because it's not only about buying products, it can be also about joining a membership, like if it's a gym or if it's a professional body. Okay. So you need to understand how you are going to communicate with them, which ultimately becomes your digital plan. Consumer behavior analysis can be considered from two perspectives. The first perspective, of course, is a demand and gap analysis. You'd hear people saying that, you know what, I'm targeting these customers because there's a demand in that sector. Or the young ones, they want All-Star Converses. There's a demand for All-Star Converses. So let me stock more so that I can sell these Converses because it is in demand. Or there's a gap. There's actually no one supplying these Converses. So if I were to provide these, I'm going to have more customers. That's the first perspective, demand and gap analysis. Boston will be like, oh, there's a demand for higher education. Universities are flooded. There are so many entry points that are required by universities. Let's come up with this so that we can target this kind of audiences, So that would be a demand and gap analysis. Then you've got digital consumer behavior. This one will be based on the trends that are happening out there. All of a sudden, it's not because there's a demand, but it's because it is trending. Sometimes people consume stuff because it is trending. Am I lying, guys? You would use something not necessarily because you need it, but because everyone else is using it. So it is trending. If a polo is trending amongst the young ones, why can I not buy it? So it's based on the consumer behavior. What else, guys, that are mostly used by people because they are trending?
Prime.
Yeah? Things that are popular and we end up using them. Nowadays, I see smartwatches. Even if we do not have necessary use for them, people now are buying smartwatches, because it's something that is more popular, and it to some extent it can even elevate your social status, which is part of consumer behavior. It can elevate your social status that you're wearing this digital watch, then maybe somehow you are part, you are or status. And if you don't do that, sometimes you can feel like you are being left out in the society. Okay? So those are the two perspectives that drive consumer behavior. Then we have got, let's have a look at the demand analysis and conversion marketing. Digital marketing managers should understand current trends and levels of use of the internet and different online services and how they relate to services and products the organization wish to deliver online. Then assess demand for digital service is done by looking at generic factors that enable marketers to set a realistic strategic objective for each target segment. So you can actually see, for example, most brands, e-commerce brands like your Takealot, they've actually highlighted, come across with a trend of customers wanting something there and there. Someone orders something online now and they want it delivered tomorrow. And they're actually, striving to meet those demands. It's a demand from customers. Customers are demanding to have something delivered there and there, So you can actually look at these trends and be able to deliver it, because if you do not deliver, chances are that your consumers are going to disown you and go to the one that can actually deliver. What are the implications for market planning? Then we look at the conversion models. As part of situation analysis, objective setting, experienced digital marketers should build a waterfall model of the efficiency of their web marketing. Conversion marketing tactics can be used to convert as many potential site visitors into actual visitors and then convert these into leads, into customers or repeat customers. How many times, guys, have you been online on an e-commerce and you just leave the site and go elsewhere because you're just window shopping or you're just looking for information? Then all of a sudden you receive a notification or an email saying that you might have forgotten to order something, or you might have left something in the basket. Or sometimes it can even ask you whether you need assistance or not. Have you come across that thing, guys?
Yes, sir.
So it is a way of converting you from being just a website visitor to be an actual buyer, to actually transact on that, on that platform. Consumer choice and digital influences. These are also vital when it comes to digital marketing planning. Many buyers visit online first to find information that will inform what they buy. So the web and social media are a vital part of the research process, as internet users now spend longer researching products. Secondly, web and social media are used at every stage of the research process, from the initial scan to the more detailed comparison and final checking of specifications before the purchase. Is this something that you can relate with, guys? Because if it's a lie, you can actually say that, no, I do not agree with this. This is not what I do as a customer. Do you agree with that, guys?
Yes, sir. I do agree
All
with
right.
that.
Customer characteristics. Understanding the individual nature of customers is fundamental to digital marketing practice and planning. Research suggests a fruitful place to begin identify consumers' target market is to consider the demographic variables and the psychographic and behavioral variables. Remember, guys, you yourself, you are going to have your own products. Some you say you are DJs, some you said you are content creators, some you say you are photographers. You need to consider these as well if you want to grow your profile, okay? And according to Arnold and others, there are antecedents or background to the online experience. In your assignment, I think in F2, you are going to be asked to discuss the 8 antecedents of digital experience. These can positively or negatively influence or motivate customers to engage with digital offer. So the first one, of course, is information processing. If you are to fly to Durban right now, the first thing you need to process information about flights that are heading to Durban, okay? That's what you do. Then the second thing, of course, it will be perceived ease of use. Is it easy to get to the airport? Is it easy to get into that flight? Will it be crowded the same way it is crowded whenever I'm taking taxis or whenever they, you ask those questions, even though sometimes they might sound as if they are silly questions. Then you have got perceived usefulness. Is it actually relevant to fly? Is it useful? Why don't I take a bus? Why don't I take a train? So what are the perceived usefulness there? Then what would be the perceived benefits? What is it that I'm going to benefit from flying? Will I get there on time? Okay. Perceived control. What control do I have with that? Can they wait for me when I'm late, or it's beyond my control? What about the skills that are required, especially when you're operating a website? Do I need skills? Is it easy to navigate even the flight itself? What are the skills that I'm going to need if I want to put on a seatbelt in a flight? Trust and risk. Do I trust this flight? Can I risk my life to get to Durban using this flight? Then the last one is enjoyment. Am I actually going to enjoy the flight, being in the skies? What is the experience going to be like? So these are the antecedents that you are involved with as customers, both offline and online. Of course, here we are talking about digital marketing, so it's online. So in conclusion, customer journey is a term commonly used by digital marketers to describe the touch points or different types of paid, owned, and earned media, which influence most consumers as they access different types of digital platforms and content when selecting products and services. It is the modern marketer's job to make the best investment to feature their brands and provide relevant content to support customer decision making. Therefore, to help understand different customer journeys to purchase, Customer journey maps are a technique used to model behavior of different audience personas. Are there any questions, guys? Does it make sense? Then next week on Tuesday, we are going to be looking at customer analysis. So we are going to perform a customer analysis next Tuesday. Guys, I highly encourage everyone to attend physical classes, please. At least with physical classes, nothing is missed out. Nothing will be swallowed by the technology. You know, sometimes there's poor signal, you say something and all of a sudden it is skipped. So I highly encourage students to be in class next week.